Hello everyone, and a huge welcome to all you aspiring gate mechanical engineers. Be Your Buddy is here to share a smart, effective plan for your 2026 exam. Especially if you're juggling a job or college, this explainer is all about showing you how to turn limited hours into a top rank.
So, let's get right to it. The big question on everyone's mind. Is it really possible to get a top rank in gate mechanical by studying just 2 to 4 hours a day? I know, it sounds a little crazy, right? But what if I told you the secret isn't about studying more, but studying smarter?
And that right there, that's the whole philosophy. It's not about the marathon all-nighters. It's about consistency and having a solid structured plan. Cracking GATE 2026 isn't a sprint that leads to burnout. It's a marathon you run with a smart, sustainable strategy.
So, to get you there, we've laid out a super clear roadmap. First, we're going to create your smart blueprint. Then, we'll build a rock-solid foundation. After that, we'll get that daily routine down, and finally, we'll turn all that practice into perfection. Sound good? Let's dive in. Okay, Section 1, your Smart Gate Blueprint. Look, before you even think about opening a textbook, you need a game plan. This is where we draw the map, so you know exactly what you're up against.
Your absolute first move? Download the official syllabus. But here's the key. You have to analyze the topic-wise weightage from the last few years. You've got to know your battlefield. Which subjects are the heavy hitters? Where can you get the most bang for your buck? This is all about focusing your precious time where it'll make the biggest difference.
All right, once you've got your map, it's time to start building. You know, you can't build a skyscraper on a weak foundation, and you can't get a top gate rank without one either. This section is all about getting that conceptual clarity locked in. So, how are you going to split your time? Let's break it down. As you can see, about 70% of your effort should go towards your core mechanical subjects. The other 30%? That's for engineering, math, and general aptitude. And please, do not sleep on these sections. They are so often the deciding factor in your final rank, so getting this balance right is absolutely crucial.
So, what are these high-priority core subjects? Well, looking at the data, things like strength of materials, thermodynamics, and fluid mechanics consistently carry a lot of weight. And to build your concepts, you've got to stick with the trusted, standard books. Authors like R.K. Bonsall, P.K. Nog, and R.S. Kermi are considered the gold standard for a reason. Their explanations are clear, they have tons of examples, and frankly, they're the foundation that so many toppers have built their success on. Okay, we've got the what and the why covered. Now let's talk about the how. This section is all about turning that big strategy into a simple, powerful, and repeatable daily routine that actually fits into your life.
Here it is, your daily action plan. You're going to spend about 1 to 2 hours learning new concepts and making really good notes. Then, a solid hour just applying what you learned by solving problems. And you'll wrap it all up with about 30 to 60 minutes of revision and creating short notes for quick review. This cycle, learn, apply, revise, is so effective.
You know, having the knowledge is one thing, but being able to perform under pressure on exam day, that's what gets you the rank. And that brings us to our last and most important section, turning all that hard work into a top-scoring performance.
Let's just zoom out for a second and look at the whole journey. For the first 3 months or so, you're just building that solid conceptual base. From month 4 onwards, you'll start mixing in previous year questions, or PYQs, and topic-wise mock tests. And then, in those final 2 to 3 months, you're going to shift gears completely to intense revision and full-length mocks to really simulate exam day.
So, how many past papers should you be solving? The golden rule is a minimum of 5 to 10 years worth. Seriously, there is no better way to get inside the head of the person setting the paper. You'll master the patterns, the style of questions, the difficulty. Just consider this part of your prep completely non-negotiable.
Now, when you start taking those mock tests, your mindset is everything. It is so easy to get down about a low score, but that is not the point, especially in the beginning. Instead, you need to focus on analyzing your mistakes. Where did you go wrong? How can you improve your accuracy? How can you manage your time better? Remember, these early mocks are for learning, not for judgment.
And I really want this message to sink in. This is the promise at the heart of this entire plan. It's not about the total number of hours you clock in, it's about the discipline you bring to those hours. If you can stick to this structured routine, getting a good rank isn't just possible, it's probable.
So, the blueprint is right here, in your hands. The path is clear. All the strategy and all the planning, it all comes down to this very moment. It comes down to the simple actions you take today
tomorrow, and every single day after that. Your journey to GATE 2026 starts right now. The only question left is, how will you use your time?
Hey everyone, and welcome future GATE champions. I am so pumped you're here for this session from Be Your Buddy. Now, I want you to just forget everything you think you know about boring old exam prep. Because today, we are going to look at your GATE journey for what it really is, an absolutely epic quest. And I get to be your buddy and your guide on this crazy adventure.
Okay, so every great quest needs a map, right? Well, here's ours. We're going to kick things off by talking about why this is an epic quest. Then we'll size up the enemy, the exam itself. After that, it's all about choosing your weapons, getting into your training montage, and planning for that final boss battle. And of course, we'll wrap up with some words of wisdom. Let's do this.
So, first things first, why are we even here? What's the point of all this? You know, every hero needs a really good motivation, a reason to fight. So, let's talk about the incredible treasure chest of rewards that opens up once you conquer the GATE exam.
And you know what the best part is? There isn't just one prize at the end. You actually get to choose your own reward. I mean, you could land a killer job at a PSU, or level up your brain at an IIT or IISC, or maybe you want to join an amazing research team at ISRO. It even opens up doors to universities abroad. And honestly, the personal growth and knowledge you gain, that's a reward all on its own. This isn't just an exam, it's a launchpad for your entire career.
All right, hero. Time for stage 2, knowing your enemy. You gotta understand the beast you're facing if you want to win, right? So, let's get up close and personal with the GATE exam itself.
And check this out. This chart basically shows us the boss's weak spots. Just look at that breakdown. A whopping 70% of the exam is your core mechanical subjects. That is the main target. Then you've got general aptitude and engineering maths, hanging out at around 15% each. This tells us exactly where we need to aim our biggest attacks.
But a quick word of warning here, folks. The battlefield is absolutely riddled with traps. And the biggest, sneakiest one? Negative marking. Seriously, every random guess or silly mistake can cost you. We need a solid plan for this, so just keep that little detail tucked in the back of your mind.
Okay, so we've scouted the enemy. Now it's time to choose our weapons. And in this quest, your greatest weapon is not a sword, it's not a shield. It's having a rock-solid understanding of the syllabus. Okay, listen up, because this is so important. Not all topics are created equal. Think of this table as your battle plan. You want to pour your energy into the high-weightage, high-XP subjects first. Things like thermo, SOM, and manufacturing. Those are your heavy hitters. Once you've got those down, then you can move on to the others and scoop up all those extra points. Work smarter, not just harder.
Yes. Okay, this is my absolute favorite part of any hero's journey, the training montage. Cue the epic music. It is time to get battle ready. So here is your ultimate prep strategy. This 5-step plan is literally your path to becoming a powerhouse. Step 1. Build a strong foundation with your standard books and by studying past battles, the previous year questions. Next, you're going to create your own personal spellbook with all your formulas and short notes. Then it's all about daily drills, constant revision to keep things fresh, and finally, sparring sessions with lots of mock tests. Simple, right?
And hey, no hero goes into battle without their gear, so make sure your inventory is stocked. You need these legendary tomes for the core stuff, the ancient scrolls, at least 15 years of PYQs, and of course, guidance from the modern-day sages on NPTL and YouTube for anything that feels a bit tricky. The training is going to be intense, I'm not going to lie, but that final boss battle is what it's all about. So let's talk about the final roadmap and the tactics you're going to use when you're actually in that exam hall.
An 8-month quest can feel like a lot. So let's just break it down into smaller pieces. For the first 3 months, you're just focused on conquering those major subjects. The next 3, that's for the minor stuff and starting your first round of revision. Then, in months 7 and 8, you're going hard on mock tests and more revision. And that last month, it's all about polishing your spellbook and fixing any little weak spots. Totally doable. Okay, exam day. Tactic number 1, start with general aptitude. It's usually the easiest part, and getting those questions done first gives you this huge confidence boost. It's kind of like landing the first punch and getting yourself in the zone for the real fight. Tactic number 2, be a smart hero. Do not let your ego get you stuck on some monster question. If it's eating up your time, just flag it and move on. You can always come back and try to slay that dragon later if you have time left at the end. And tactic number 3, which is so critical, manage that negative marking trap. This is not the time to be making wild guesses. Only answer what you're pretty confident about. Remember, every blind guess is a gamble that can really hurt your final score. Play it smart.
We've covered so much. The map, the enemy, the weapons, the whole strategy. But before we wrap this up, I want to leave you with just a few final words of wisdom, from one buddy to another.
If you remember only one single thing from our chat today, please let it be this. This whole quest is a marathon, okay? It is not a sprint. Small, steady progress every single day is so much more powerful than trying to cram everything in these huge, intense bursts. Trust me on this.
So here it is, your final checklist. Pin this to your wall. Just remember, revision is what makes you actually remember things. Focus on getting things right, not just doing them fast. Small daily goals are way better than huge, scary ones. And most of all, just stay calm and stay focused. You totally got this.
And that's it. That's our hero's guide to conquering the GATE exam. I really hope you're feeling fired up and ready for the adventure that's ahead of you. So now, the floor is yours. It is time to unlock your questions. What's on your mind? Let me know.